.104 degrees, no clouds virtually in sight here in Klein Scott Field Centennial Park. The Newton Rebels to take on the Kansas Cannons in just a matter of seconds. My name is Adrian Holguin, and welcome to, of course, today's stream for the Newton Rebels. The Rebels can try and grow their season win total today over the 19-9 Kansas Cannons out of Augusta, Kansas. If I can get my words right, geez Louise. The Diamond Kings, like they're going to be pretty ticked off, looking to end their now 3-game win streak. The recent loss came against the Hutchinson Monarchs, where they fell short 3 runs, 2-1. Now, because of that, probably the key for the Rebels tonight will be to start off hot, both on the offensive and defensive side. Ryan Ruggiero going to get the start behind home plate, returning to the lineup, at least in terms of the home matchups for the Newton Rebels in 2024. He was out for a handful of games, and the Drew Wardell actually getting starts behind home plate at the catching spot. We're going to see him at first base tonight. And also Judy Lopez, number 32, once again back in the lineup for the time being for the Newton Rebels. Once again, we're just about to get underway tonight for the Rebels to try and grow their win total against the Kansas Cannons. Judy Lopez once again back in the starting lineup, but dealing with kind of a lingering lower body injury here in 2024 that kind of came up here in the last couple of weeks. Let us see if that injury kind of rears its ugly head this evening in Klein Scott Field. And with that, Lane Howarth going to step up to the plate, receiving the start on the mound tonight for the Newton Rebels is pitcher Bryson Harding, big number 19. Bryson Harding, right-handed pitcher out of Southeastern Arkansas Community College. Sets up, looks down, the line, the intended line, I should say, the pitch line, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Strike number 1, 0-1 count. Bryson Harding been a pretty consistent pitcher, if I do say so myself, for the Rebels on the season in Norco, Louisiana. Pitch number 2, and outside and up top, make the count 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, still 0 outs, top of the first. Pitch 3 going to come in once again a little bit high and to the outside. Howarth still in the batter's box. Number 3, start of the batting lineup tonight for the Cannons. Next pitch and going to be a ball to the outside once again. Bryson Harding kind of flirting a little bit with that strike zone, but still not testing the batter quite yet. No outs still, top of the first. And that one's going to be a fly ball, going to leave the field of play, but the Rebels nevertheless bring down that one. Lance White from third base. Now Zeb Henry, number 1, going to step up to the plate for the Kansas Cannons, who now face a 1-out deficit here in the top of the first, trying to get some early runs on the board here in Klein Scott Field. Bryson Harding remains on the mound for the Rebels. Bryson Harding, 5 pitches in, make it 6, no swing. Ball to the outside, once again, number 7, Ryan Ruggiero out of Newton, Kansas, receiving the start at the catching spot. 1-0 pitch comes into the outside. Harding still not really wanting to throw these pitches inside, it seems like, against the Cannons batters. Kind of wanting to keep it out of harm's way, maybe keep it out of the wingspan, proverbially, of the Cannons. Another pitch to the outside, ball number 3. Similar sequence that we just saw. Got Howarth out on that flying ball, brought down by Lance Wyke. And that one going to be also no swing. Not going to face a 3-1 count. Is second up in the batting lineup, Henry. Number 1 left-handed batter. 3-1 pitch comes in from Harding. And going to walk him over to first. Reminder, we did see Howarth at the top of the batting lineup for the Cannons. Get out off of a fly ball brought down by third baseman Lance Wyke. Therefore, 1 out in the top of the first. A new batter coming up. It will be Diggins, number 4 for the Cannons. Bryson Harding. 10 pitches in now after going through 2 batters. One of which sitting at first, the other one sitting on the bench. Pitch in and to the up top. Kind of action kind of with Ryan Ruggiero also kind of getting back into the swing of things, kind of making the calls, the pitching calls from behind home plate. Could maybe lead to kind of the decision to throw these pitches to the outside. Maybe that's what he's comfortable with. 1-0 pitch. Going to be a ball, and Ruggiero can't quite hold on to the ball. Therefore, it will be a stolen base from first to second. Goes the Cannons runner. Unforced error. Maybe some early game return jitters for Ryan Ruggiero. 2-0 is the count. Once again, runner in scoring position on second for the Cannons, who are only facing a 1-out deficit here in the top of the first. Harding looks back over at second, fires in the pitch, this time to the inside. It'll be a 3rd consecutive thrown ball from Harding from the mound. One more ball would put runners on first and second for the Cannons here on the top of the first. Harding looks back, no swing to second, and another ball to the inside. Going to indeed put runners on first and second. Now Ruggiero going to approach the mound. Have a quick word with Bryson Harding. Maybe just something to kind of keep his head up. Of course, we did see in the first batter that was up for the Cannons. Howard at the top of the batting rotation. Ended with a fly ball over to third baseman Lance Wyke. He brought it down and led to the first out. Ruggiero probably gets something, hey, let's do that again. Let's kind of keep our heads up. Let's keep our heads on straight. Ruggiero heads back over to his spot behind home plate, and he is going to reset the order. And Harding does the same over on the mound. His 15th pitch of the evening coming up. It comes in, and it will be a foul ball to the right side, strike number 1. Thank you to some of our in-kind supporters this season for the Rebels Armor Coatings of Wichita, Newton Rebels founder Carl Hodges and family, John Oldham family, Conradi Insurance Group, Petrie Roofing Services, People's Bank and Trust, Platinum PDR Plus Paint, Roofing Services Unlimited, and many, many more. Harding looks back at second, fires in the pitch, down low. Going to be a ball number 1. Count going to be at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, top of the first. Runners on first and second. Diggins over at first for the Cannons. Next pitch in, and Snyder makes contact. Out to Jordy Lopez. He gets the out over at second. But the throw that could have led to the double play. A little bit slow to Drew Wardell. Going to end with runners on first and third for the Kansas Cannons. But now 2 outs up. Still 0-0 here in the top of the first. 2 outs, no runs on the board for either side. Harding, a bit of an up and down day from the mound for the Rebels. Going to try and get out of this half inning without giving up a single run. Snyder over at first. The runner for the Cannons. Harding fires it in to the inside. Ball number 1, 1-0 count. 18 pitches now into the evening for Bryson Harding. And the stolen base opportunity not going to matter for now as that ball heads out into the outfield, and the Rebels bring it down for the third out, which will end at the top of the first. Bottom of the first coming up here from Clyde Scott Field. No runs on the board for either side, but we'll see if the Rebels can change that. Once again, just a matter of seconds here in Clyde Scott Field. Stay with us. Regard Bravo going to start us off on the mound this evening for the Kansas Cannons. Jody Lopez, number 32, steps up to the plate, shortstop for the Rebels. Also one of the premier hitters and the league's premier athletes for the 2024 Newton Rebels. Once again, in the batter's box, going to try and get the first run on the board for the Rebels and give the Rebels the early game lead here in Clyde Scott Field. Bravo, first pitch, fired in, and a bunt put up by Jody Lopez. It's going to be a foul ball and strike number 1. Bravo, kind of a unique throwing motion, more sidearm compared to more up top in his motion, if that makes sense. Kind of a weird wind-up. Kind of keep an eye on it. Bravo comes in, pitch inside. Going to be a 1-1 count. Not very often that pitchers test Jody Lopez, especially early on in these contests. We'll see if Bravo takes that conservative approach or tests him a little bit. 1-1 pitch. Comes in for Bravo, and Lopez makes contact out to center field, and it will be the first out of the half inning for the Rebels. Reset the count, and now returning to the lineup once again, Ryan Ruggiero, number 7 out of Newton, Kansas, steps up to the plate. Starting catcher tonight for the Newton Rebels. Obviously, we saw Bryson Harding start off the game on the mound for the Rebels. The top of the first, where the Rebels only gave up, no runs early on to the Cannons. Pitch number 1 of this sequence in, and strike number 1. Starting pitcher Regard Bravo out of Eastern New Mexico University fires in the next one. Ruggiero, foul ball to the right side. Strike number 2. One out, bottom of the first. Judy Lopez made contact and sent it out to center field. It was brought down by the outfield of the Cannons, leading to the first out. Now the next foul ball by Ryan Ruggiero keeps the count at 0-2 here in the bottom of the first. As we mentioned before, a key for the Rebels is to start off hot, both on the offensive and defensive side. Ball number 1, 1-2 count. A key for making that happen will be to get some runs up here in the bottom of the first inning. 1-2 pitch coming up from Bravo. 7:14 p.m. here in Klein Scott Field. And that one is in. And no call for the umpire. Going to be the second ball of the sequence. 2-2 is the count. 8 pitches now put up by the Cannons. Now pitch number 9 comes in. And another ball, full count. That one just to the outside of the strike zone. Honestly, kind of went out and in on that pitch from Bravo. Now the full count pitch. Going to come in here with 1 out. In this half inning, Ruggiero swings at it, makes contact, foul ball out to the right side. The Cannons defense can't quite get underneath it for the out. Therefore, Ruggiero's going to have another crack at it. Drew Ordell will be next up in the batting lineup for the Rebels. And Ruggiero, beautiful hit right beside Bravo and over the second base. Will be a base hit for Ruggiero. And the Rebels now on base with Drew Ordell stepping up to the plate. First baseman for the Newton Rebels out of Pratt Community College. Last time out for the Rebels, not the best day in the box for Drew Ordell. 3 at-bats, wasn't quite able to get on base. They're trying to change that today. Ball 1. Yep. Only 1 out, bottom of the first, Judy Lopez. Made contact on his at-bat. Into center field was the fly ball that was brought down the defense of the Cannons, therefore, where the first out came from. And now Ryan Ruggiero at first base, and Drew Ordell is going to try to advance him. 1-1 pitch and big swing from Ordell. Not much came of it. 1-2 is the count. Gar Bravo up to 14 pitches here in the bottom of the first inning. Cannon's going to try to get into this half inning unscathed. Bravo tests Ruggiero over at first to no avail. Heads up play by Ruggiero. Starting pitcher today for the Newton Rebels. Bravo looks back at first, fires into Wardell, and an out of control pitch. Going to allow Ryan Ruggiero to head over to second. And also Drew Wardell going to get the free walk over to first. Off the bat, Bryce Nittler, designated hitter tonight for the Newton Rebels, number 36. Runners now on first and second. Drew Wardell at first and Ryan Ruggiero at second in the scoring position. Harvey looks back at second, fires from the pitch. Strike 1. Ryan Ruggiero receiving some attention over at second base at Hudson Community College. Pitch in, strike number 2. 0-2 now is the count. Bryce Nittler once again with the at-bat opportunity here in Klein Scott Field. 1 out, bottom of the first. Bravo pitch number 18 in. Called ball just to the outside. 1-2. Next one, just barely enough of a swing from Nittler to warrant the strike call. Therefore, we will see the second out of this bottom of the first. For the Newton Rebels, who are trying to get some runs on the board here early on in Klein Scott Field, Chris Clark, center fielder tonight for the Rebels, steps up to the plate. Ruggiero at second, Drew Wardell at first for the Newton Rebels. Swing on the first one from Chris Clark. To no avail, no success. Strike number one. Once again, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Clark, very aggressive the latter portion of the season when put in the box. Kind of swings for the fences. No swing on that one, though. Ball number 1, 1-1 is the count. With Bravo still on the mound, 21 pitches in. Still in the first inning. It's back at second where Ruggiero lies, and Clark going to be a foul ball. Coming just back. Almost looked like for a second it might be a infield fly ball, but luckily for Clark, going to head out of play. 1-2 is the count. Bravo sets up for the 1-2 pitch and delivers it, and Clark gets it straight out to third base, but an error going to lead to Ruggiero rounding the bases and heading home and putting the Rebels on the board here early on in this contest. Then Drew Wardell is going to be counted out in his advancement from second to third, but nevertheless, the Newton Rebels going to take the early lead here with that run from Ryan Ruggiero. The Rebels up 1-0 over the Kansas Cannons. We'll be right back for the top of the second, where the Rebels going to try and hold on to their lead. Number 16, Hunter Alliard, going to start off this half inning, the top of the second to be exact, in Klein Scott Field. Pitch number 20 from Bryson Harding coming up from the mound. Ryan Ruggiero getting stretched out real quick right outside of the dugout. You guys saw him have that at-bat where he put the Rebels on the board with his run in the bottom of the first inning. They're once again heading in to the top of the second. The Cannons coming into this matchup with a 3-game losing streak, 19-9 on the season. Trying to keep their hopes alive to head over to Wichita in a matter of, in just over a week for the NBC World Series and also tournaments out there as well. Ryan Ruggiero now takes his spot back behind home plate, and we're set to kick off the top of the second, where Bryson Harding going to send in the pitches for the Rebels. Alliard contact out to right field. The Rebels can't quite bring it down, and they're going to force him to stay at first. Base hit. Christian Caruso. They're going to try and have similar results. Was one pitch into the top of the second, already a base hit for the Kansas Cannons, who trail 1-0 here at Klein Scott Field to the Newton Rebels. Bryson Harding in on the first pitch. From him to this set, strike number one. Straight down the strike zone, looks back at first. Now back at home plate. 0-1 pitch in and contact made. Could it be a double play? Jody Lopez gets out to second. But then the throw to Drew Wardell just off the mark. We're not going to be safe at first. A one out top of the second here in Klein Scott Field. 7:24 p.m. July 11th, 2024. Jody Lopez already got tested multiple times in the shortstop spot tonight. Both times have ended with an out at second for the Rebel defense. Pitch in, big swing and a miss. Forces the first strike of this sequence. Strike number one. 0-1 pitch going to be coming in now from Bryson Harding. No swing. Going to be ball number one. 1-1 is the count. And now pitch number 25 from Harding. Going to be sent in from the mound. And that's contact made out to left field. The Rebels just barely get underneath it for the second out of this half inning. Ray was the batter on that sequence. And now up to bat, Clemens. Chase Clemens, to be exact, at the bottom of the batting lineup for the Kansas Cannons. Already Bryson Harding on to his 25th pitch of the evening, 26th coming up. Went through the whole entire batting lineup to start off with and gave up no runs so far. Did Harding strike number one. Top of the second, 2 outs. 0-1 pitch, fired in, swing and a miss. Strike number two. 0-2 is the count. Harding 1 strike away from getting out of a second consecutive successful half inning. From the mound, that one comes in, no swing. Pitch into the dirt. 1-2 will be the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Harding on to Norco, Louisiana. Throws that one in there. Ball to the outside and down low. 2-2 is the count. We saw Harding kind of be a little tentative at the start of the top of the first, not really putting pitches inside of the strike zone, but he's starting to kind of loosen up a little bit, it seems like, with Rogero returning in the catching spot. That one goes down low. Going to be a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Cannons trying to get up on the board and tie this game with the Newton Rebels. Rogero put up the lone run of the day in the bottom of the first inning. Hardy pitch in and contact out to left field. And the Rebels bring it down. Pick up the third out of the top of the second. Bottom of the second coming up. The Rebels can try and grow their 1-run lead here in Klein Scott Field. Stay with us. Justice Hinesley, related to head coach Justin Hinesley for the Newton Rebels, steps up to the plate, thinking some more of our financial supporters for the 2024 Newton Rebels. Newton Lions Club, Midway Motors, American Family Insurance, Miller Insurance Agency Incorporated, Best Pest Control, Charleston Insurance, and Faith and Life Bookstore. Just to name a few. Bravo, 24th pitch, and no swing from Hinesley, going to lead to a 1-0 count. Now some of our host families: Becky Day family, Carrie Boot and Chris White family, Heather and Michael Hass Hugh family, Hope and Monty Graber family, Kelly and Matt Peoples family, Kim and Kevin Pouch family, Melissa and Dennis Wardell family, and Michelle and Brent Kaufman family. Pitch number 2 of this half inning in, and 1 ball, 1 strike is the current count, with Bravo still on the mound, and Hinesley trying to get on base and get another run on the board for the Rebels. Out of control pitch to the up top portion. Ball 2, strike 1. No outs. Still in the bottom of the second here in Klein Scott Field, Centennial Park. Roughly 90 degrees outside still at 7:30 p.m. Slight overcast. Nothing that could end of the day potentially here in Centennial Park. Early, 3 balls, 1 strike. Now the current count with the Rebels leading the Cannons 1 run, 2-0 after Ryan Ruggiero put the Rebels on the board in the bottom of the first inning. Pitch in, called strike, going to be a full count. Justice Hinesley once again up to bat for the Newton Rebels out of Southwest Baptist College. Springfield, Missouri is where he is coming to Newton, Kansas from. And the 4th ball going to lead him over to first base, where he will sit until, hopefully for the Rebels, Cooper Addison can advance him, or Hines might kind of do it himself, try to steal his way from first to second, but a risky proposition. Do say so myself. No outs, bottom of the second, just Hinesley resting at first. The Bravo looks over to him, and indeed Hinesley going to try to steal his way to second, and Addison was just too slow in his pursuit of getting over to first. He had a chance. But just McKinn is too good on the throw to allow the base hit to go through for Cooper Addison. But nevertheless, advanced Hinesley from first to second. That ball actually bounced off of the umpire, I do believe. That will give me a foul ball to the right side for the Newton Rebels. Currently, we've seen him the second spot or the first spot in the batting lineup for the Rebels in the past handful of games. Now kind of going back down to the 8th spot. Lance White going to be next up. We saw him pull down a flying ball from the third baseman spot in the top of the first. Pitch in, ball. Going to be a 1-1 count, 1 out in the bottom of the second. Justice Hinesley in scoring position on second base. Pitch in, McCauley swings too far on it. Try to pull back in time, but to no success. 1-2 is the count. McCauley, a .077 batting average on the season. 2-2 is the count. Last game for the Rebels against the Monarchs, he had 2 at-bats, wasn't quite able to get on base, was McCauley. Pitch in. That one contact made over to second, and McCauley gets called out at first, but Justice Hinesley indeed advances to third. Justice Hinesley now in prime scoring position for the hometown Newton Rebels in Klein Scott Field. But 2 outs might make it a risky proposition for Lance White to get on base himself, with Bravo still at the helm and on the mound for the Kansas Cannons. 35 pitches in. Bottom of the second, 2 outs. Lance White up to bat. No swing on the first one. Pitch comes inside and down low. Ball number 1. Make the count 1-0 in the bottom of the second. Justice Hinesley at third. Hinesley wanted to take off, hoping that contact would be made, but instead no swing. Going to lead to a 2-0 count with 2 outs. So far put up here in the bottom of the second by the Cannons defense. Cannons coming with a 19-9 overall record in 2024, trying to make it 20-9. Ball number 3 to the inside. 3-0 is the count. Bravo, pitch number 39. Comes in, no swing. Going to be called a strike this time. Bravo barely gets it inside of the strike zone. So White's dismay, one more called ball would lead to White getting the free ride over to first. Would put 2 runners on base for the Rebels, and White contact up to the third, and he will get called out at first. A tough bottom of the second, going to lead to the Rebels coming out scoreless. But they do lead 1-0 heading into the third inning here in Klein Scott Field. Stay with us. More action coming up. Welcome into the top of the third here in Klein Scott Field. The Rebels trying to hold on to a 1-run lead. A run that was put up in the bottom of the first by catcher Ryan Ruggiero, who takes his spot back behind home plate with Bryson Harding remaining on the mound for the Rebels. Pitch in, ball to the bottom. Harding up to 32 pitches, with Bravo, the starting pitcher for the Cannons, in comparison up to 40. Contact, going to be a flying ball to the outfield. And the Rebels bring it down for the first out of this half inning.
Number 1, Zeb Henry.
Zeb Henry going to be next up, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, that is Justice Hinesley getting the start in right field. Second up, or number 3 for the Newton Rebels. What am I trying to say? I don't even know. Getting ahead of myself. Number 6 in the batting lineup for the Rebels is what I was thinking of. New batter up, 1 out in the top of the third for the Rebel defense. Harding's pitch comes into the outside. Ball number 1, 1-0 is the count. Next one in, swing and contact made, and just out of the potential hand of McCauley over at second.
Now batting number 4, Chase Diggins.
We are back now on the top of the batting lineup. That was Henry. Second up in the rotation that made his way over to first. Now Diggins going to try and do the same thing and advance Henry over to second or maybe even third. Reset the count. Runner indeed on first now for the Cannons. 1 out in this half inning. Harding. And that one comes over to Jody Lopez, who gets over to second for the out. The second out of the top of the third.
Number 8, Snyder.
Digging safe at first, but now Snyder going to be next up. Going to try and do the same. Number 8 for the Kansas Cannons in 2024. Again, it's Snyder at Wichita State University. Steps up to the plate once again with 2 outs already. Ball number 1 to the outside. Ryan Ruggiero picks it up and throws it back onto the mound. One 0 pitch now coming up for Harding. Looks back over at first, where Diggins resides. Not going to test him. Ruggiero thought that Diggins was going to try and steal his way from first to second. Was incorrect. 2 outs, top of the third, count at 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Harding pitch number 39 coming up. 2-0 pitch. Finally fired in. Contact made. Foul ball to the right side. Strike number 1. 2-1 now is the count. Ryan Ruggiero wants to get the start behind home plate out of Newton, Kansas. Kansas Center, Wichita State University. Swung at that one. Would have been a stolen base for Diggins, but instead he's going to have to make the walk back. Snyder kicking himself over that one. Could have been a free opportunity to get in scoring position. Kansas Cannons, unforced error early on, late in the top of the third inning. 2 outs, 2-2 is the count, and now Ruggiero not quite able to get the runner out at second off his throw to McCauley. Instead, Diggins going to be safe at second and in scoring position. Make the count 3-2, full count now in the top of the third with 2 outs. Gannon Snyder now has to decide if he's going to swing or not. He swings at it, and it's a good decision. Just gets over the head of McCauley. Now Chris Clark gets over to Drew Wardell, but 1 run now on the board for the Cannons. This game now tied up. 1 run apiece with 2 outs. So far put up in the top of the third. McCauley was just not quite able to bring that one down from the second base spot. If he would have, it would have maybe allowed for the third out to be put up in this half inning. Likely would have avoided the run being put on the board for the Kansas Cannons, but you live to fight another day. A wise man once said that pitch comes in strike number 1. Harding's now 0-1 pitch, his 44th of the evening. Fired in, and a foul ball. White can't quite bring it down. We saw him bring one down earlier on from the third base spot. That foul ball going to lead to an 0-2 count. 1 strike away is Harding from ending this half inning where the Cannons have put up 1 run already. That pitch high to the praise of Ryan Ruggiero back behind home plate. 1-2 is the count. So here in Klein Scott Field, a stolen base chance for the Cannons. Ruggiero high on his throw to Jody Lopez. Runner going to be safe in the scoring position. Sider advances to second for the Cannons. Judy Lopez now kicking himself. 2-2 is the count now. 2-2 pitch comes in, make it full count, 3-2. Rebels have got to get out of this half inning. The top of the third to be exact. Already put up one run. Did the Cannons on the offensive. Don't want to allow them to take the lead. That'll be a walk over to first from pitcher Harding. Runners down first and second for the Cannons as a new batter heads up to the plate for the visiting Kansas Cannons, 19-9 overall on the season. Hunter Alvord out of Cowley Community College. Right, and the batter steps up. No swing, ball number 1. Thank you some more of our in-kind supporters, Guerrilla Marketing Incorporated, Back Alley Pizza, BuyLocalPlus.com Magazine, Newton Recreational Commission, YMCA Newton Branch in the Greater Wichita YMCA, and Summer Days Festival, who is one of our primary sponsors tonight in Klein Scott Field 2-0 count. Harding in and up top. Ball number 3, 3-0 is the count. One more called ball to the outside of the strike zone would load up the bases for the Cannons, opposite of what the Rebels need at this point. Hardy picks number 52, comes in down the strike zone. No swing. 3-1 now the count. 3 balls, 1 strike. With 2 outs in the top of the third. Game tied up 1 run apiece. The Cannons put 1 up themselves. Their only run on the board earlier on in this half inning. Foul ball. Called strike. Going to be a full count, 3-2. Bryson Harding out of Norco, Louisiana once again. Fires it in with runners advancing, and that one gets right past Drew Wardell. Runners down right in the bases. 1 heads home, and another 2 rest at first and third for the Cannons. Now 2 runs put up in the top of the third. The Rebels came into it with a 1-0 lead. But now the Cannons starting to take over, going a bit of a run here, as there will be a meeting of the minds at home plate. Or not at home plate, on the mound. What am I trying to say? I don't even know. Could see a pitching change coming up here, or Bryson Harding could get another crack at it. We'll see. I guess a matter of seconds. Once the count resets, 2 outs in the top of the third. Looks like Harding going to stay out on the mound for the Newton Rebels. It's going to be Colin Parks heading out to give some words to his defenders in the infield. Looks like Bryson Harding going to stay out and then play on the mound for the Newton Rebels. Harding over to Wardell at first, testing. Batter on that one. No luck. Now going to reset. Looks back at home plate. Fires in the pitch. Ball to the outside. And another stolen base. Runners down on second and third, and both in scoring position for the Cannons. 1-0 now is the count. A long half inning for Bryce Harding on the mound, up to 55 total pitches. Not even through his first 3 half innings of play. Strike number 1, 1-1 is the count. 2 outs, top of the third. The Rebels trying to get out of this half inning, already giving up 2 runs in it. Contact out to McCauley at second base. And he brings it down for the third out of the top of the third. Bottom of the third now coming up here. The Rebels kind of put themselves in a hole, but we'll see if they can kind of dig their way out here in Klein-Scott Field against the 19-9 Kansas Cannons. We'll be back. Jordy Lopez sends us back to the top of the batting lineup for the Newton Rebels to start off the bottom of the third, where the Rebels going to try and match the two-run output put up by the Cannons in the last half inning. Lopez contact over the head of the third baseman. He rounds first and going to stay at first. Look not to advance to second. Ryan Ruggiero to Newton, Kansas, starting pitcher tonight for the Rebels. Takes his spot in the box with Jordy Lopez resting at first. We just saw him have that big base hit over to left field. Cannons leading 2-1. First pitch of the sequence in from Bravo, leading to an 0-1 count. No balls, one strike. Ryan Ruggiero still at bat for the hometown Newton Rebels here in Klein-Scott Field, Centennial Park. Bravo tests Lopez over at first to no luck. Rarely is when Lopez is at base or on base. Now 7:53 p.m. here in Klein-Scott Field. Ruggiero contact out to the shortstop. One out on the board. And Ruggiero not fast enough to get to first in time. 2 outs. 2 outs in this half inning. Bottom of the third. No runners down on base. We saw Lopez put up that early base hit into third field, and then Ruggiero fired it over himself to the shortstop for the Cannons, who then finishes the job over to second and then over to first. 2 outs, bottom of the third inning. Ball one. Cannons up 2-1, putting up 2 runs in the top of the third in the last half inning. 2-0 is the count. Now a 2-0 pitch comes in from Bravo up top. Called a ball. Third consecutive, leads to the 3-0 count. A 3-0 pitch down the middle. Strike. 3-1. Bravo up to 48 pitches now on the evening. 2 outs, bottom of the third. 3-1 pitch in and a swing. Going to be a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2. Contact made from Drew Wardell off the pitch. Foul ball. Going to keep it at 3-2. Next one in, and going to be a walk for Drew Wardell. But that was before the first base umpire changed the ruling, leading to the strikeout that brings an end to the bottom of the third here in Klein Scott Field. The Cannons leading the Rebels by a score of 2-1 as we head into the 4th inning. Top of the 4th coming up here for Klein Scott Field. Stay with us. Welcome to the top of the 4th here in Klein Scott Field. Bryson Harding takes his spot on top of the mound for the Newton Rebels after a tough top of the 3rd, where he gave up 2 runs to the offense of the Cannons. Ball number 1 here in Klein Scott Field. My name is Adrian Olguin, and the Cannons trying to pick up their 20th win of the regular season. 1-0 pitch leads to 2-0 pitch. The next one comes in just to the outside. Right up to bat, 8th in the rotation tonight for the visiting Augusta Cannons. 2-0. Once again, the count. Now 3 balls, no strikes, no outs. Ruggiero going to make the call. Bryson Harding going to look to deliver as that one comes to the inside. Ray pulled back, thought it might have been a ball to the outside of the strike zone, but the umpire thinks otherwise. 3-1. Nevertheless, is the count. 3 balls, 1 strike. And that time Ray takes a big swing at it. 3-2 full count. Top of the 4th, still no outs. Full count pitch. Going to come in for Harding. And that one, a swinging contact made, called foul. Bounced off the batter and off of the bat. Still going to be a full count here in Klein Scott Field. Thank you to our meal makers for the Newton Rebels here in 2024. Pathways, Care Women's Care Group, and Becky Day, First Baptist Church, Newton First United Methodist Church. The Table, Hope Graber, Plum on the Go, Kim Pouch, and American Legion Auxiliary. Foul ball keeps us at a full count. And then some of our financial partners, Shamrock Car Wash and Pouch Enterprises, Peyton Pond LLC, Attorney at Law, Mark Fox, your local Wygand Realtor, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Harvey County, Court Imported Special Advocate Group, and Union State Bank. No swing. Going to be the 4th ball and a walk to first. First goes Ray, and now a new batter comes up. Going to be Clemens, making another appearance in the batter's box right in front of Ryan Ruggiero. And in the sights, of pitcher Bryson Harding. Still no outs in this half inning with the Cannons trying to grow their now 2-1 run lead over the home Newton Rebels. Ray going to be safe at first. Was a close one with Drew Wardell number 11 for the Rebels right there to pick up the throw from Ruggiero. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 pitch. Fired in. Showing bunt is the Cannons trying to get runners on first and second. 2 balls now, no strikes, no outs. Three balls. Pitch goes to the up top portion. 3 balls, no strikes. Bryson Harding down to 67 pitches. Could see a pitching change either this inning or next inning. We saw 2 runs put up in the top of the third for the Cannons, and now 1 more walk given up by Harding. Runners on first and second, 1 of which in scoring position, and indeed, we will see a pitching change with Bryson Harding coming out in just a matter of seconds here in Klein Scott Field. The Cannons up 2-1 with runners on first and second with no outs put up in the top of the fourth. Stay with us. We'll be back. Wyatt Deward, right-handed pitcher for the Rebels, takes the mound now out of Tabor College. Danville, Kansas, junior out at Tabor College. Going to deliver his first pitch of this game tonight in the top of the fourth. Showing bunt was the batter up for the Cannons. Haworth at the top of the batting rotation. Runners already on first and second. Not the time when the Rebels defense wanted to see the lineup gets switched up, or flipped up, I should say. Bunt. Called foul, called strike. 1-1 is the count, with no outs yet being put up in this half inning by the Rebel defense. We're going to look to change that real quick. And once again, showing bunt, called strike by the umpire back behind home plate. 1-2 is now the count. 1 strike away from Deward. Wyatt Deward potentially putting up the first out of this half inning for the Rebel defense. Judy Lopez over at shortstop, covering second base. Pitch in and a strikeout. Start the day for Jordan. Was a Mark Fox, your local White Gator Realtor strikeout. First of which, or one of the first times that we've seen that for the Rebels today. Once again, top of the fourth, one out. Another runner taking, or no, potential runner taking a spot in the box. Henry up to bat. Takes the pitch outside, out of control, out of the reach of Brian Ruggiero. Runners advancing to second and third as we speak. Ruggiero stops him at those spots. Count now going to be 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out in this half and inning on the season. The Newton Rebels trying to pick up their 5th win of the 2024 season. Right over to Jordy Lopez, who reaches up and grabs that one, gets the out over at first, but one runner does advance and get home. 3-1, now the lead for the Kansas Cannons over the home Newton Rebels. Only one more out needed for the Rebels to get out of this half inning. Only giving up 1 total run, but nevertheless not what the Rebels wanted to see. Wyatt Druid, his 7th pitch sent in, strike. Make the count 0-1, 1 runner on third also for the visiting Cannons, who are trying to pick up their 20th win of the season. 1-0 pitch. Down, make it 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Druid out of Danville, Kansas, fires that one in there. Foul ball to the left side. 1-2 now is the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Henry once again up to bat for the Kansas Cannons. Theme tonight in Clarence Scott Fields, the Summer Days Festival. Thank you for supporting the Newton Rebels. And that one hit out to right field. And it is brought down for the 3rd out of this half inning. Bottom of the 4th, going to be coming up now in Klein Scott Field. The Rebels once again going to try and cut in to this Cannons lead that now sits at 3-2-1. Stay with us. More action coming up here from Klein Scott Field, Centennial Park in Newton, Kansas. Bottom of the 4th, already coming up here in Klein Scott Field. The Kansas Cannons trying to pick up their 20th win of the season over the home Newton Rebels here in Centennial Park. Bravo remains on the mound for the Cannons, and first swing and a strike from Bryce Nittler, the designated hitter tonight for the home Newton Rebels. Make the count 0-1 to start off this half inning. Now the 0-1 pitch in and a swing and a miss. 0-2. Still no outs in the bottom of the 4th. Just getting underway, of course, with the Cannons leading the Rebels by 2 runs. 0-2 pitch. Now fired in for Bravo. Not going to be a strikeout. Instead, going to be a 1-2 count. Bravo now receives the call. No runners behind him. To the outside, count going to be 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Taking his time. Once again, with Nittler being in the box, the designated hitter tonight for the Newton Rebels. 2-2 pitch and in a swing and a miss. Going to be a strikeout. Strikeout to start off this half inning. Chris Clark, now center fielder, takes the spot in the box and approaches the plate. Reset the count. Chris Clark receives it. Strike number 1. That was what Chris Clark, center fielder, facing out of Southeastern Arkansas Community College. And contact now made, and Chris Clark going to take advantage of an error. Rounds first, rounds second. Now heads over to third, and Chris Clark going to head all the way home for the in the park home run. The Cannons now lead 3-2. Not only an error out in right field for the Cannons defense, but also an error over at third allows Chris Clark to put up the second run of the day for the Rebels, who now trail 3-2. Justice Hinesley now takes the spot in the box after that huge play from Chris Clark that cut the deficit down to 3 runs to 2 for the home field advantaged Newton Rebels. Now Hinesley receives that one. They're going to be a fly ball in the infield, which is brought down for the second out of the bottom of the fourth.
Number 15, Cooper Addison.
Chris Clark once again in the park home run on that one. Errors both in the right field and the third base for the Kansas Cannons earlier on in this half inning. Run is play by Clark. Now Addison receives the first pitch, strike 1. 2 outs at the bottom of the fourth. The Cannons leading the Rebels still 3 runs to 2. 0-1 pitch to the inside. Ball number 1, 1 ball, 1 strike. A Bravo 62nd pitch comes in now, and not going to be enough on that one. Addison able to actually beat the throw over to first. Going to be safe over at first base. Still 2 outs, bottom of the fourth. The Rebels show some signs of life. Ethan McCallie steps up to the plate now. Going to try and advance. Addison past first and eventually to home base for the Newton Rebels. Bravo out to McCallie, who then gets it out to the shortstop spot. But then it gets called out at first in his pursuit. The Cannons still leading the Rebels 3-2 as we now exit the 4th inning of play. We now head into the 5th inning here in Klein Scott Field. The Rebels showing some signs of life once again. 1 in the park home run put up by Chris Clark in this very half inning. But step back up. 5th inning coming up here. That's a mouthful, but stay with me. Gannon Snyder now set to kick off the 5th inning of play as the Cannons still lead the Rebels 3 runs to 2. Pitch in from Drew to the inside. Ball number 1. Going to be a 1-0 count now. No outs. Top of the 5th. 1-0 pitch. Foul to the right side. Going to be a strike with the count 1-1. Thank you once again to our in-kind supporters for the 2024 Newton Rebels. Guerrilla Marketing Incorporated, Back Alley Pizza, BuyLocalPlus.com magazine. That one hit right between White and Jody Lopez and in the left field base hit. Newton Recreational Commission, YMCA Newton branch of the Greater Wichita YMCA. And Summer Days Festival. Base hit. Puts a runner on first for the Cannons. And now a new one steps up here in the top half of this 5th inning. Grijalva steps up, designated hitter tonight for the Cannons. Foul ball, left side, strike 1. No outs. Once again. Grijalva out of Emporia State University. Receives that one and a ball. Make it a 1-1 count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Drew's next pitch is in to Jody Lopez. 1 out at second, and then a second out indeed made at first. 2 outs put up on that one by the New Rebel defense. Hunter Alvarez steps up, going to try and turn the fortunes around in this half inning for the Cannons offensive. Cannons still lead 3-2. 2 outs, top of the 5th inning. Nine hits so far for the Cannons, only 4 for the Newton Rebels, 1-0 count. No pitch, down low. 2 balls, no strikes now, 2-0 count. Only 7 games remaining in 2024 for the Newton Rebels, 5 of which will be played right here in Klein Scott. So make sure to come out and support your hometown Newton Rebels 3-0 count. Next pitch comes in, going to make it 3-1. Here in the top of the 5th. Once again, only 2 outs. I say only, but the runner gets advanced to first. Christian Caruso. Now going to be next up for the Kansas Cannons, trying to pick up their 20th win of the 2024 regular season. Thank you for joining us on the stream this evening as the Rebels try to pick up yet another win here in 2024. Picks down low to the outside. Correction. No runners were on second. 1 advances from first to second. That was Alvord. Now a scoring position for the Cannons. Caruso up to bat once again. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 pitch in. Goes off of the leg of the pitcher and then over to Jody Lopez, who gets it over to Joe Wardell just in time for the 3rd out of the top of the 5th. The Cannons still leading the Rebels 3-2 here in Klein Scott Field. Stay with us. More coming up here from Centennial Park. Lance White going to kick off the bottom of the fifth. Bravo remains on the mound for the Cannons, already up to 63 total pitches. 64th. Fired in, and White contact made, foul ball to the right side. The Cannons couldn't quite get underneath it. Would have been the first out of this half inning. Instead, going to be a 0-1 count faced by third baseman Lance White. Taking this time on the mound, winds up, delivers the pitch. Down low. Ball one. 1-1 is now the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs. Once again. That's like 178 batting average on the season. Foul ball to the left side. 2 strikes. 1 ball. In this current count. 1-2. The 1-2 pitch comes in, and White contact made right to the right side of third base. And White going to rest at first.
Now batting number 32, Jordy Lopez.
Jordy Lopez back at the top of the batting lineup for the Rebels. We flip things over. We saw earlier on in the ball game, Lopez got close to putting a run up on the board. Couldn't quite do so. To get a big time single over to left field earlier on in the contest. Trying to do it again. Showed a bunt. Pulls back in time. But still caught for the strike. Strike number 1. Bravo only 2 runs allowed through 67 pitches this evening. Going to test White over at first, who's called safe. Now the 0-1 pitch will be delivered in to Jordy Lopez, who is showing bunt. He makes contact, but then gets called out at first. Just barely not fast enough, but White gets made to the second.
Number 7, Ryan Ruggiero.
Ryan Ruggiero, now number 7, sets up himself. White gets advanced to second off of the Lopez bunt. Thank you once again for joining us here in Klein Scott Field. Make sure to come out and support your Newton Rebels. A lot of home games still remaining in this 2024 regular season, all of which will be played in Centennial Park. Bravo's first pitch in to Ruggiero. Foul ball to the right side. Strike number 1. Strike number 2 for Rigo Bravo at Eastern New Mexico University. 1 out in this half inning. As you can see, White on second, third baseman for the Rebels. Swing and a miss. Going to be another strikeout for Bravo.
Now batting number 11, Drew Wardell.
2 outs in this half inning. Drew Wardell going to step up to the plate from the first baseman spot where he normally resides. Wardell faces the curve ball. Now strike 1. A 1 pitch and a swing and a miss down low for strike number 2. Oh, 2 count, 2 outs. 1 strike away is Bravo from putting this half inning away and sending us into the 6th inning. And indeed, that's what we're going to see. Another strikeout, second consecutive, ends this half inning with the Cannons still leading the Rebels by a score of 3 runs, 2-2 in Klein Scott Field. My name is Adrian Hogan. We'll be back for the top of the 6th. Rebels on the defensive side trying to get out of this half inning unscathed against the 19-9 Kansas Cannons here in 2024, trying to grow their overall win total on the season. And once again, top of the sixth coming up here. Wyatt George still on the mound with Rogero back behind home plate at the catching spot. Pitch one of this happening in a hard hit out to center field, and Chris Clark brings it down for the Newton Rebels.
Now batting number 6, Chase Clemens.
Beautiful pursuit that time by Chris Clark, who brings down that first out of the top of the sixth once again. Now a new batter coming up for the Kansas Cannons. We'll see what they can do. Pitch in, no swing. Clemens now facing a 1-0 count with one out. Up in the top of the sixth, strike number 1. 1-1 is the count. One pitch and contact out to the left side of Jody Lopez, out to left field. Gonna be a base hit for Clemens.
Next at bat number 3, Lane Howard.
Lane Howard at the top of the lineup, up to bat for the Kansas Cannons, trying to grow their one-run lead. Howard out of Wichita State University, out to Jody Lopez at second, and then over to Wardell for the double play. And just like that, another half inning comes to a close. The top of the sixth to be exact here in Klein Scott Field. The Rebels putting up a fight, down 3-2 in Klein Scott Field, Centennial Park. Stay with us. Bottom of the sixth coming up here. See if the Rebels can hold on to that momentum. Bryce Nittler going to set things off here in the bottom of the sixth inning. The Rebels trying to take back over the lead. They led 1-0 all the way up until the top half of the third inning, where they gave up 2 runs and handed the lead over to the Cannons. They're trying to make up for it. Later on, once again, bottom of the sixth, pitch number 1. The sequence from Bravo in to the outside, ball number 1. Another designated hitter tonight for the Newton Rebels. No strikes yet faced. And he's going to be facing 1 now. Swing and a miss. Strike 1, 1-1 count. No outs, bottom of the sixth. Now 1-1 pitch in. Up top. Ball number 2. 2-1 now the count. 77 pitches in to the game is Bravo. 2-1. Now 3-1. 3-1 pitch coming up now. Once again, Bryce Nittler up to bat. Kind of newcomer a little bit for the Rebels. Haven't seen a lot of him over the course of the season, but getting some time later on. And a big hit over into left field. Going to send him over to first here in this bottom of the sixth. 8:34 p.m. here in Klein Scott Field, July 11, 2024. Chris Clark up to bat. Saw him get that in the park home run earlier on in the evening. See if we can do it again. That one came in the bottom of the fourth. Showed a bunt, made contact, foul ball, and the Cannons almost beat it to the ground, but unsuccessful in the end. Strike one. No outs yet. Bottom of the sixth. 0-1 count. Chris Clark up to bat against Bravo the Cannons. That time Clark gets the bunt off right over to third, but he gets out, but not before advancing the runner over to second. Nittler now at second with Clark getting called out at first. 1 out in this half inning, bottom of the sixth. Justice Hindley makes his way over. Has some success also earlier on in the game from the box. 10 hits on the evening for the Cannons, 6 total for the Rebels. Ball to the outside of the strike zone. 1-0 is the count. Bottom of the sixth. Hindley, no swing. Last game, batting average of 148 for the Newton Rebels. A fly ball. And going to just barely get out of Klein Scott Field and give Hindley another shot at it. 2-1 is the count. That will give a foul ball to the left side now. Counting out 2-2. Hindley wants that one back. Bravo looks down, hides the signal from the catcher, looks back at second, and gets another strikeout in this half inning. 2 outs, bottom of the sixth. Cooper Addison. And next up, Bravo still making some stuff happen. 86 pitches into his evening. Cooper Addison, last time out for the Rebels, a batting average of 3.33 against the Monarchs in their 15-2 point loss. Addison, no swing, ball down low. Nittler not going to try to advance his way from second to third in scoring position currently for the Rebels. Addison steps back up. So does Bravo, looks back at second, fires in the pitch. No swing, and now Nittler going to get a free walk over to third after the out-of-control pitch. 2 outs. Bottom of the sixth still. Nittler and prime scoring position now. 2-0 count. Here in Klein Scottfield, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Addison, hard hit, hard contact out to right field. Stays in play. One runner heads home, and Addison rounding the bases, round second, heading over to third. And he is going to rest and be called out at third, but not before he brought Nittler in for the designated hitter spot. Game tied up 3 runs apiece as we head into the 7th inning. And Klein Scottfield, stay with us. We're actually coming up. The Rebels trying to get another win in the win column in 2024. .8:41 p.m. here in Klein Scottfield, Centennial Park, Newton, Kansas. July 11th, 2024, the Rebels trying to pick up another win in 2024, and the Kansas Cannons trying to pick up their 20th win of the season and avoid their 10th loss. Ball one to the outside, thrown in that time by Wyatt George, who subbed in earlier on for Bryson Harding. Another pitch in and called ball just to the outside of the strike zone. 2-0 is the count. So top of the 7th, 2-0 is the count, or was, now it's 3-0. Rapid fire pitches to start us off. Henry is up to bat, no swing. He's going to walk over to first.
Number 6.
Now Henry at first. Ruggiero walks up. So Drew to kind of give him a little pep talk on the mound. Trying to pick up their 5th win of 2024. New batter comes up. We'll be digging number 4. Winds up, gets that one in there, and a contact out to left field. Gonna advance runners to first and second before Jerry Lopez to stop to him.
Number 8, Snyder.
Snyder now going to be next up, 4th in the lineup. 4.
I'm trying to figure out.
Welcome back. All right, Jordan still on the mound. Runners on first and second. For the visiting Kansas Cannons, foul ball into the back fence. 0-1. The count for now. We'll see if that changes. Jordan going to throw in the next one with runners back behind him and also to the left of him. surrounded, one in scoring position. Showing steal, Ruggiero puts a stop to it. 1-2 is the count. Here in Klein, Scott Field, top of the 7th. Cannons tied up with the Rebels. 3 runs apiece. 10 hits put up for the Cannons, only 6 for the Rebels tonight. Jordan in and right over to second baseman for the Rebels, Ethan McCauley, who jumps up in the air and brings that one out of the air for the first out of this half inning. Game tied up 3 runs apiece. New batter steps up now for the Cannons. Grijalva, designated hitter tonight. Number 22, no swing. Called strike number 1. 0-1 is the count. Jordan down to 37 pitches, 38th coming up. Lopez aggressively covering second base. And now Ruggiero gets the runner out. Oh! Third, I thought, goodness gracious, you probably heard the reaction in the press box. Not a very popular decision up here, but nevertheless, 1-1 is the count. Runners advance to second and third, respectively. One is the count. Still, Grijalva remains in the batter's box with Druid up on the mound. Druid now runners to the right side and to the back side of him. And a strikeout, second out of the top of the 7th.
Now batting number 60, Hunter Albert.
Hunter Albert now stepping up to the mound for the Kansas Cannons. On the season, .214 batting average. Albert coming away of Catley Community College. A quick stoppage of play. Umpires talking it over. Somewhat controversial. Out, not out. Safe, not safe. Call over at third off of the steal.
It's too late. Now, what's another picture from that? That's
A controversial walk over to first is going to load up the bases. Albert heads over to first base. I was wondering what the umpires were talking about. Apparently, that's what they were doing. Next runner now up, Caruso, with runners once again on first, second, and third for the Cannons. Picking here exactly what happened there. We'll let you know. Hard to get everything up here from the press box. Wyatt Jordan, 39th pitch. Now 40th pitch of the night, strike number 1. 2 outs in this half inning, top of the 7th. Runners once again on first, second, and third. A base hit would grow the Cannons lead, or even a walk would grow the Cannons lead and put them on top of the Rebels. Here, called ball, 1-1 now the count with Caruso up to bat. Now receives the next pitch out to right field. And Justice Hinesley brings it down. A diving play brings an end to the top of the 7th. Now the bottom of the 7th coming up here. with the Rebels trying to get back up on top of the Cannons. Currently game tied at 3 runs apiece. Bottom of the 7th here in Klein Scott Field. The Rebels have a chance to take the lead over the Kansas Cannons as they try to pick up their 5th win of the 2024 regular season. First one in, foul ball to the right side. Strike 1. Once again, bottom of the 7th, just getting underway here in Klein Scott Field. 1 pitch down, called strike. The swing and a miss, called strike number 2. And a 3rd consecutive swing will lead to a strikeout. First strikeout of the day for Rodney Whaley, who just subbed in for the Kansas Cannons at Iowa Western Community College. Lance White, now 9th in the batting rotation, steps up from the 3rd baseman spot. One out. That means in the bottom of the 7th so far, make that ball 1. Lance White in the box still for the Rebels. Trying to take his time, trying to get on the base and round the bases and put the Rebels back on top. Strike. Foul into the catch bounce. 1-1 pitch coming up. Once again, new pitcher in the game for the Cannons. And contact made right over second base, and White will rest at first. Judy Lopez, top of the batting rotation, steps up to the plate. Ryan Ruggiero will be next up. Judy Lopez batting in for 3-4-5 on the season. Receives that first pitch. It's called ball. 1-0 is the count. 1-0 pitch comes in, swing from Lopez, and we called a foul. 1-1. Ronnie Whaley, once again, new pitcher in on the mound for the Cannons at Iowa Western Community College. At 8:54 p.m., July 11, 2024, Clyde Scott Field, Centennial Park. 1-1 pitch, bounces off the ground. It looks to be almost off of Jody Lopez at the end of that one, but going to be 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Lance White still on first for the Rebels. That 2-1 pitch comes in, no swing. Gonna make it 3-1, 3 balls, 1 strike. Ball will put runners on first and second for the Rebels, not what the Cannons want to see. And indeed, that's what's going to happen. Lopez walks to first.
Number 7, Ruggiero.
All right, Ruggiero out of Newton, Kansas, steps up. Starting catcher tonight for the Newton Rebels. Whaley looks back at second, fires in the pitch. No swing from Ruggiero, but called strike. 0-1 count, 1 out, bottom of the 7th. That one fouled off to the backside. Gonna be 2 strikes now. Oh, 2 is the count. Catcher tried to potentially test Jimmy Lopez. Can't hang on to the ball. Get too far, can't do that. Mason Ray back behind home plate. 1-2 the count. Contact fly ball to right field, and it is brought down for the second out of the bottom of the 7th.
Now, number 11, Drew Wardell. That's the second out.
Indeed, second out, Drew Wardell up to bat. That's White and Jody Lopez on base for the Rebels.
Oh, yeah.
10 hits already for the Cannons, but the Rebels coming back here, 7 hits so far. Drew Wardell, big swing and a miss. Strike number 1. Rebels got to take the lead right now if they want to get on back on top and eventually win this ball game in Klein Scott Field. 0-1 pitch in, called ball, 1-1. Wardell at Pratt Community College, Mays, Kansas, where he is coming from. 1-1 pitch called a ball up top. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two 1 pitch coming up with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th here in Klein Scott Field. Comes in up top. 3rd ball, 3 balls, 1 strike. Rebels get their 5th win of the season tonight in Klein Scott Field if the ball bounces their way. Three 1 pitch, gonna lead to a strike. Wardell almost took over the walk over to first early. Instead of giving me a full count. 1 strike away from taking the bottom of the 7th, coming to a close here in Klein Scott Field. It'll be an action-packed 8th inning. But Whaley looks back over at second after changing his mind. Almost sets in that pitch. Pitch comes in, Wardell foul ball. Count going to say 3-2. Jordy Lopez on first, Lance White on second. For the Rebels, White in scoring position. Next one in, and a ball down low. Going to load up the bases now for the Rebels in the bottom of the 7th.
Number 36, Bryce Nittler.
Wardell on first, Lopez on second, and then Lance White on third. Now Bryson Nittler, designated hitter tonight for the Rebels, up to bat. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Nittler's got to be very, very calculated on his swings on this next sequence of attempts. No swing, strike number 1. Nittler, kind of a newcomer for the Rebels this season. Not a lot of action early on in the season, but getting some action later on. Oh, 1 is a hit over to second, and then a quick out to end the bottom of the 7th. The top of the 8th coming up in Clarence Scott Field. The Rebels trying to grow their win total in 2024. The Cannons trying to pick up their 20th win of the regular season. Stay with us. More coming up. Mason Ray going to kick off the 8th inning in Clarence Scott Field. The Rebels trying to pick up their 5th win of the 2024 regular season. On the other hand, the Cannons trying to pick up their 20th same season. Taking some more of our financial partners in 2024, Newton Lions Club, Midway Motors, American Family Insurance, Miller Insurance Agency Incorporated, Best Pest Control, and Charleston Insurance. Pitch 1 in and called strike. 45 pitches now for Druid as we enter the 8th inning. 46 in and called ball to the inside, or to the outside, I should say. 1-1 is now the count. Game tied up 3 runs apiece once again. Neither team has much they can afford to lose. Can't afford any unforced errors on either side. 1-1 pitch up top. Make it 2-1, 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 balls away from the walk to first. And no swing to the inside. Ray now facing a 3-1 count, 3 balls, 1 strike. Earlier on, we did see Jordan come in for Bryson Harding. Now going to throw in the 3-1 pitch, his 49th pitch of the night. Comes in and a ball to the inside. Gonna be a walk over to first for Ray. Chase Clemens gonna step up and try to avoid the first out of the top of the 8th inning. And Ruggiero tries to pick up the out at first over to Drew Wardell off of that thrown ball. Instead, going to be a walk over to second for Ray from first. Unforced error we were talking about, potentially from Ryan Ruggiero. Game tied up 3 runs apiece for the Rebels and the Cannons. Here late in this one in Klein Scott Field. Ball number 2. 9:05 p.m. July 11th, 2024. Centennial Park. Now 2-0 pitch, a quick bunt, and then a no out over at first. Wardell not covering for first. Will be a free walk over there for the runner of the Cannons. Runners on first and third. Here in the top of the 8th. Wyatt Jordan steps back up. 52 pitches in. 53rd in. Far to the outside. Ryan Ruggiero keeps it out of harm's way. Ball number 1. Another unforced error in this half inning by the Rebels infield we just saw. Ruggiero ball to the inside. He picks it up. 2-0. Ruggiero at Hutchinson Community College, hometown Newton, Kansas. Two-0 pitch heads to the outside. Going to be ball number 3. Could see a walk over to first and could load up the bases for the Cannons. Three-0 pitch from Druid inside. Going to be ball number 4. Bases now loaded. And could see a pitching change as we are now midway through the top of the 8th inning here in Klein Scott Field. The Rebels trying to get out Scott's free proverbially and not allow a single run. That could give the Cannons the lead here late in Klein Scott Field. Stay with us. Jack Garner and on the mound now for the Rebels, normally playing in the outfield. But later on in the season, he's getting some time on the mound himself in relief for both Bryson Harding, who got subbed out earlier on in the game, and now Wyatt Druid, who put up north of 50 pitches before being subbed out here in the top of the eighth. Bases loaded. First pitch and ball to the inside. A walk would, of course, give the Cannons the lead 4-3. 1-0 is the count. The 1-0 pitch to the inside again. Make it 2-0. Ryan Ruggiero still behind home plate.
Yeah.
2-0 pitch. Foul ball. Henry in the back for the Kansas Cannons. Obviously a 2-1 overall count. Bases loaded. Game tied up 3 runs apiece here in Klein Scott Field. 2-1 pitch. Contact made from Henry. Out to center field, and Chris Clark runs forward and brings it down for the first out of this half inning. And Ryan Ruggiero can't quite get the runner out in time right before he puts the Cannons up on the board and ahead. The Cannons now leading over the Newton Rebels here in the top of the 8th. Runners now on first and second for the Kansas Cannons, with the Cannons leading 4-3 here in the top of the 8th inning. Reset the count, 1 out. Chris Clark had to run forward and grab that fly ball, but nevertheless, able to get underneath it. So 1 pitch in and foul ball once again. Going to make it 0-2. Here in the top of the 8th inning. Diggins at number 4. Take over. No swing. Comes to the inside and up top. Make the count 1-2. Here in the top of the 8th, 1 out. Next pitch comes in down low. Going to make it a full count now. 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Jack Garner back up against the wall once again. Garner looks back over at second. Fires in the pitch now and forces the swing and a quick out at third. And then Wardell brings in the double play over at first to end the top of the 8th inning. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Cannons leading the Rebels 4-3. When we come back here in Klein Scott Field. Chris Clark set to kick off the bottom of the 8th inning here in Klein-Scott Field. The Cannons leading the Rebels 4-3. Could pick up their 20th win tonight in Klein-Scott Field, or the Rebels can play spoiler, pick up their 5th. Clark, foul ball. Strike number 1 here on the bottom of the 8th. Cannons up 4-3. Foul ball out of Southeastern Arkansas Community College is Chris Clark. Strike number 2, 0-2 is the overall count here in Klein-Scott Field, Centennial Park. Cannons once again leading 4-3. No outs yet in this half inning. And nothing in a strikeout. Mark Fox, Yoko Wygant Realtor strikeout, going to be the first out of this half inning. Bottom of the 8th, 1 out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, high school.
Justice Heinze steps up and takes a big swing, and strike number 1 is the result.
I knew I had it. And then
1 out, bottom of the 8th.
can you get slow volleyball?
0-1. Ball down low.
Right. Okay. Then, of course, Chad Healy, principal, high school.
1-1 pitch and a foul ball, going to lead to the second strike of the sequence for Justice Hinesley. 1-2 is the count. Relative of Justin Hinesley, the head coach of the Rebels. 1-2 is the count. 1 out, bottom of the 8th. No runners on base yet for the Rebels. 1-2 pitch, no swing, ball to the top. Make the count 2-2, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Foul ball. Gotta say 2-2. Justice Hinesley at Southwest Baptist College, Springfield, Missouri. Sophomore at Southwest Baptist. 2-2 no swing, full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Hinesley does a good job of staying back and staying composed. Composed, I should say. Making up words as I go, I guess. 3-2 count. Up top. He's going to stay over in the batter's box. Got a little off here in the press box. What are we going to do? Full count. Cannons up 4-3. Pitch in and a strike and a strikeout of Hinesley. The second strikeout of the bottom of the 8th inning. Cooper Addison next up, number 15 for the Newton Rebels as they try to come back for a 1-1 deficit here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They can't get it now. They have at least one more chance in the bottom of the 9th, but they don't want to wait that long. Pitch in and a swing and called ball, looks like. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, called strike. 1-1 is taken out of the count. Late in the bottom of the 8th inning, late in this contest, 9:19 p.m. now in Klein-Scott Field. 1-1 pitch in, called ball. 2-1. 2-1 pitch. Make that 3-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2 outs. 3-1 and possibly deciding pitch. Coming in and contact from Addison. Makes it a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs. 1 out remaining in this 8th inning. Rebels desperate to get some runs on the board here and try to cut into this lead, and Addison going to get a walk over to first base. Ethan McCallum, number 30, playing second base tonight for the Rebels. Up to bat next with Addison on first. Ronnie Willie out of Iowa Western Community College still in the ball game. Picks number 1 in, called a ball. 1-0 is the count. Cannon just put up a run in the top of this very inning to put themselves up 4-2-3. Next pitch in, called ball to the inside again. 2-0. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. McCullough receives the next one. Going to be called a ball again. 3-0. No swing on guess on this next one. Trying to hope for the free walk. A walk would put runners on first and second, obviously, for the Rebels. Addison at first. 3-0 pitch comes in, called strike. 3-1. Next one going to be called strike again. 3-2. Full count. Colin not too happy with that call. Going to have to bounce back. Addison at first still for the Rebels. Next one in, and McCauley's fly ball. And it will be brought down by the Cannons for the third out of the bottom of the 8th inning. Top of the 9th coming up now. The Rebels going to try and hold the Cannons scoreless and get into the bottom of the 9th as quickly as possible. Stay with us. Jack Garner back up on the plate. No balls, no strikes. Start off the top of the 9th, where the Rebels trail the Cannons 4-2-3. Picks number 1 of this half inning in. Called a ball outside of the strike zone. Once again, top of the 9th, the Rebels desperate to get out of this half inning. And back in the driver's seat and maybe take the lead back in this one. Second consecutive ball. Ball number 2, 2-0 is the count. Jack Garner out of Hudson Community College throws in that strike. 2-1. Strike from the mound from Jack Garner. Now 2-1 pitch. Going to be fired in number 31. And next one straight into the ground. Make it 3-1. 3-1 pitch now coming up. One ball away from the walk to first. Gets Garner from giving up that. And instead, it's going to be a hit over to McCauley over at second, and then over to Wardell at first. A 1 out, top of the ninth.
Now that number 2, Jose Grijalva.
Jose Grijalva next up. Designated hitter tonight for the Cannons. Normally a pitcher for him. Not tonight. 1 out, top of the ninth. Cannons up 4-3. Jack Garner in, called strike. Strike number 101 is the count. Garner now 16 pitches in. 2 is even. Now pitch number 17 up top. Rogero keeps it out of harm's way. Ball number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. One pitch. Going to lead to a 1-2 pitch now. Great throw for Jack Garner inside the strike zone. Eventually, strikeout 1-2 pitch comes in and straight into the dirt. Make it 2-2. Now Rogero give Garner a pep talk and walk back. 2-2 pitch coming up, 1 out, top of the ninth. Next one in contact, fly ball at the left field, and the Rebels are able to bring it down for the second out at the top of the ninth. Top of the ninth, 2 outs. Hunter Alvord next up to bat, 6th in the lineup tonight for the Cannons. Take on Jack Garner, trying to put this happening away and get the Rebels back on the offensive.
There might be some things I have.
Pitch in, called strike. Just the bottom portion of the strike zone to Ryan Rogero, 0-1 count.
Things like that. Thinking how it should look.
0-1 pitch coming up from Jack Garner on the mound. He fires it in, and just enough of a swing to bring up strike number 2, 0-2 is the count. Cannons up 4-3, and for the Rebels at the top of the ninth. 0-2 pitch coming up here. Rogero moves to the right side and called a strike. And the strikeout that will put an end to the top of the ninth. Bottom of the ninth coming up. The Rebels going to try and get at least 1 run on the board to tie this game up and keep themselves alive here in Klein Scott Field. Stay with us.
All right, fans, make some noise for your
Welcome into the bottom of the ninth inning. Lance White sets up now to kick off the bottom of the ninth inning. The Rebels trailing the Cannons 4-3. Cannons coming into this game with a 3-game losing streak. Trying to snap that with a solid half inning to go. It's like no swing. Ball to the outside. Ball 1-0 is the count. No outs already. Obviously in the bottom of the ninth. 1-0 pitch. Now in and Wyke. Foul ball. 1-1 is the count. One pitch going to be on the way. It's fired in and a ball to the inside and down low. 2-1 is the count. Bottom of the ninth. Cannons leading the Rebels 4-3. And contact out to center field, and the Cannons bring it down for the first out of the closing half inning.
32. Jody Lopez.
Yeah, Jody Lopez, top of the batting rotation, stepping up here. 2 outs to go. And this one, the Rebels need to put up at least 1 run to keep themselves alive. Next pitch fired in, no swing from Lopez, called strike. Oh, 1 pitch coming up here for Lopez. Shortstop for the Rebels. Swing and a foul ball right behind him. Making an 0-2 count, bottom of the ninth. Oh-2 pitch comes in with 1 out in the bottom of the ninth, and it will lead to a strikeout. 2 outs.
Next to that, number 7, Ryan Ruggiero.
Ryan Ruggiero, catcher for the Rebels out of Newton, Kansas, going to step to the plate. Out of North Newton, Kansas, Ryan Ruggiero is. Opening pitch of the sequence. And a swing and a miss from Ruggiero, strike number 1. Oh, 1 pitch up top, going to be called ball. Make it a 1-1 count now in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs. Ruggiero in the batter's box currently for the Rebels. And now Ruggiero, contact out to second base, and now out at first, and that will do it here in Klein Scott Field. 3 outs to close out the bottom of the ninth inning. The Cannons hold on to the 4-3 win over the Newton Rebels to grow their overall season total to 20 wins and 9 losses. The Rebels, on the other hand, to get another loss in their 2024 campaign. Now, next up for the Newton Rebels after this loss, going to occur, if I can read here, on Monday, well, against the Wichita Dirtbags here at home in Klein Scott Field. They've got 3 straight home games to close out the regular season for the Rebels. Thursday the 18th, Friday the 19th, and Saturday the 20th against the Kingmen, and 2 games against the Hayesville Aviators. Much to come out and support your Newton Rebels. My name is Adrian Holguin, and thank you for joining us. Cannons, take